I put my best self at my work.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't love my family or I don't love myself, but I realize how much I give to work.
Yeah.
So after feeling that, I realized that even though I've had great managers in life, I forgot about my...
Okay.
Ready?
Yay. Welcome, Natalia.
Thank you.
Machdoem to the Human CV.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah. So fascinating to see what you have prepared for me. And we will dive into some numbers, into some strengths, and just chat about where you came from and how these strengths show up in your life and how you maybe even use them in your workplace or in your hobbies or with your friends. Let's go. Okay. The first thing I have noticed, the 16 personalities test or any of the other tests that you've done, were you familiar with any of them? Have you played with personality tests or any of those?
So the 16 personalities, I remember at work, they were trying to get us to go through some personal development, self-help kind of course. And that particular website was one of the things that we have to do.
Yeah.
And so that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And the result from back then and now is the same.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And I quite enjoy doing it because it's done so well, like the graphics, and they are not... like they're very generous with how they share the information. Like if you want to pay more, you could find out more, but what they reveal is good enough.
Yes.
Yeah. So I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have one of the rarest types, especially for a female.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the INFJ is in the very bottom of what is most common, the combination of gender and that type, and it's a very... it's in for the people who can't see right now or on the screen soon. It's INFJ is an introvert person, so you take your time and process things internally, and you recharge alone. Yeah.
Yes.
And then the intuition and the feeling makes you process sometimes very big emotions.
Yeah, I think so. And I was quite skeptical when I approached this kind of test, or like your psychometric test. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I was very skeptical, but as I go through it and I complete that and I read the description, I felt like, wow, they did a pretty good job. And there are parts of it where I was like sort of trying to fight it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm saying, oh, I don't feel like an introvert, because I feel like when I have to, I can be extroverted, I can be outgoing. But if I'm being honest, I think I do enjoy that alone time and just be able to have just a simple conversations like this. Like I prefer personal kind of conversations. Yeah. So I think it was spot on. Yeah.
You fight it, but it still comes even 4 years later.
Same results. So I thought, okay, well, probably I haven't changed much.
Yeah, that's good. So you're really good at what you do because it keeps showing up in the same way.
Yeah.
And I think with these tests, yes, they might ask you from a scale from 1 to 10, how courageous are you? And you put in 8 or 2 or whatever you put in. And if you do this 50 times or 100 times, however many questions, it will give you back what you think you are like. And you might think, oh, maybe I'm more introvert. But like you said, there are situations in your life or at work or maybe with children or whatever you had to do in your personal life where you have to be more extrovert, right? So when have you noticed in your life that extrovertism comes in and, forces you almost to show up a little bit differently?
I think if we had a look at my job titles or the roles that I've done, being a tutor is one of them.
Yeah.
Having to stand up in front of a classroom and talk to like 20 students or more.
Yeah.
When I run bigger workshops.
Yes.
So I was a careers advisor and I had to liaise with industry and I would gather them for events, maybe like a consultation event or even do a talk so that the students get to learn from the different industry people. So that takes another big courage as well.
Yeah.
And every time I would have that nervous jitter,
Yeah.
you know, but I think I would like to think that I am better at hiding it. Yes.
Yeah.
And just using that energy and channeling it as another form of expression.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
really beautiful perspective.
Yeah.
Because the intention that I had when I created this concept of these
Yeah.
interviews and sitting down and having conversations with people, I want to have a wide variety of people sitting here. I don't want to just talk with the extroverts.
No.
And
yeah.
I know that most of my introvert friends are amazing one-on-one.
Yeah.
They love the one-on-one conversation. We can
Yes.
go for hours and talk about everything.
Yes.
And it's to show that, again, this format, this project came into being because I wanted to show people from every kind of personality type, also an introvert, that do not give up. If the test says you're an introvert and you enjoy being an introvert, you can be a tutor, you can be a careers advisor, you can stand in front of 20, 30 people and make them connect with you. And it just takes something, you know, that you grow beyond the original style that you have for short amounts of time.
Yeah. I wonder if you've heard of the term ambivert before.
Yes, I have.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
What do you understand under that?
Well, I think what I understand is someone who could flexibly go between one and the other.
Yeah.
And I think when someone asks me, are you an introvert or an extrovert? I would feel more comfortable saying, oh, I'm an ambivert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that you bring up the term. Not many
Yeah.
people know it, I think. When I look at these CVs, so with the top INFJ in here, you know, when you do the test, it gives you also percentages, how much I, how much N, how much F.
Okay.
It's not very clear for most people to find it in this test website. So I usually just ask, what's the 4 letters? And if we had a look, your I, the introvert percentage, might just be 49% on the cusp to extroverts. You might be in that ambivert.
Yeah.
What I do know is when I look at the big 5 here, the extroversion is quite good. It's on 30% already. So
okay.
only 20% more and you would be exactly on the cusp. And so it's also funny to me, in a few conversations before on the human CV, there were people that had an I at the very top, but their extroversion was sometimes 80%. So like you said, they can show up differently
Okay.
in the same day when they did these tests. 2 different tests gave different results.
Okay.
And I don't know if they start as introverts and as they do the other tests, they feel more boisterous and answer a bit more courageously or more extrovertedly.
Yeah.
No idea why that is the case, which I think it probably helps to also then think the tests are very good to give me an idea, but not to box me in. One test might say I'm introvert, one might say I'm extrovert, but like you said, a much better term is ambivert for some groups of people. Yeah.
And I think it's important to, because it can be quite dangerous doing this by yourself, seeing the numbers and seeing just one word to express yourself.
Yes.
And it's important to have someone like you who had that recruitment experience or psychology background to help unravel what those numbers and letters means.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be stuck with, oh, I am an introvert and therefore I should stay as an introvert.
Yeah. And thank you for that. And we need people like you who show that even as an introvert, I can do extrovert tasks or jobs or titles. That's so important. I think that, yes, these tests help people to have vocabulary to explain how they show up, but they shouldn't limit them. They should not restrict them. Speaking of restriction, I have never seen somebody who has in their top 5 self-regulation. I don't have it. And I want to read out briefly what the description is for that one. You can manage your emotions, habits, and time. Even when it's tempting, you pause and make smart choices, and self-control helps you to stay focused on your goals. How do you do that?
I would be too scared to claim it entirely. But I would say I don't burst out into like massive emotions.
Yes.
I think it's more of my nature to try and be calm and it just makes me wonder, maybe it's got to do with being the first child.
Oh, tell me more about that. I'm a first child too, and I have no
Yeah.
self-regulation.
Well, I'm the first child. I've got a younger brother and a younger sister. And it makes me wonder, maybe being the first kid and having that responsibility in a way. But you can only assume why that is so. Yeah, maybe I take on the role of, all right, there's chaos here, chaos there, and I need to take the role of a moderator.
Like an adult or a parent almost.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
As the oldest sibling,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
A moderator is a good
Maybe.
one. Yeah, a balancer.
That's just my take on it. But yeah, it's a mystery.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably, sometimes I feel like other people who know you better will be able to express from observing you.
Yeah.
Because I can say all these things, but I think other people who know you might be a better judge.
Yes and no.
Yes and no,
I can
yeah.
argue about that,
Yes.
because if you ask 100 people, what do you think about Natalia? Yes, there will be some overlap.
Yeah.
But each person has their own perspective.
Yes.
One person thinks you are calm, but for another person, you're bubbly, depending on how much calm they have and how much bubbliness they have.
You're right.
I do love advising people if they are not sure, especially when they're young at the beginning of their career. And I would love to dive more into your career advisory background and tutoring also. When they say, well, I don't know who I am. And I often ask them to go and ask their 5 or 10 closest people around them and ask them, hey, if you were to describe me in 5 words, what would you say? And then a few topics will be coming up more and more. So that gives them a guideline. However, if the person wants to do something from their own drive, then I just say, don't worry about what others describe you. If you think you are, you have a kindness and self-regulation and humility, then go out there in this shape and embody it as much as you can.
It is. Own it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to own that.
Yeah. How have you found it that these skills, so you have gratitude, the order that they are in is in alphabetical order. It doesn't mean gratitude is your top one. It could be the kindness or whichever one. It's just like the highest ones you have out of these other strengths. So gratitude, humility, kindness, self-regulation, and social intelligence. And together with an introvert personality, it's someone who's calm and very grateful. And social intelligence is someone you can scan the room, you can see what people feel. They talk to you without talking. How do you use this, or have you used it until your day so far in your career or in your personal life?
I think having all that allows me to, I think, stay in this company for this long. So it's been
which company and for how
Up
long?
Education.
Okay.
Yes.
Up Education.
So it's been 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it says something about staying in a company that long. Because there is that perseverance and determination.
Yeah.
And just being able to look beyond the challenges in front of you. Just overcoming that and seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that having that personality helped me go through all those challenges. Yeah.
What would be a typical week like for you? If I imagine you go to work, do you meet your colleagues? Do you meet students? Do you sit down with other leaders and look at the bigger picture of Up Education? Like, how does it show up, or had it shown up?
I think I'm very fortunate because I started as a tutor.
Yeah.
So that is like managing a small funnel.
Yeah.
So you as a tutor, you're like the head of the family, and you've got so back then we have between 15 to 20 young adults in the classroom.
What age would I think now, sort of?
They'll be like your 18 to 25.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we had the outliers of the mature students. But that will be your typical.
Majority,
And so I did that for about 3 years. So typical day would be, you have like a 3-hour tutoring session. So as a tutor, I was doing like digital media.
Right.
Yeah. So you are more of a facilitator. So we have the learning objective, like for example, you need to know how to use a specific setting on a camera. So that's what we're going to do for the day.
Yeah.
And then you give them the theory, look at examples, and then we'll get them to do something practical.
Yeah.
And so they're going to learn with each other, with their peers. So there's learning happening in a classroom. And so that will be like your typical 3 hours gone if it's in the morning. And then maybe have lunch.
Yeah.
And I think being in an education setting is quite interesting because you've got all these teachers or tutors. You go to your break room and everybody will tell stories about their classroom. Yes. And you are in a safe space, right? And you get to express yourself, the silly stories and the challenging students. And then maybe back to your desk and you'll do your prep or your marking. So that was what I did for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went to Brisbane after the earthquake just to try something.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I'm diverting a bit too much. Nah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's your story.
Yeah. I just
Who
feel
knows
like,
what you share, and then it brings me to another topic, and we link it back. Go.
Because we talk about what my typical day is, right?
Yeah.
So that's a tutor, and then I was in Brisbane, and I had some experience just practicing some of my digital media skills, right? And working in it was like a TV production. Yeah. So I did that for a while, and I wanted to get back into teaching in Australia. So I had to upskill. And so I took on a cert to teach adults in Australia.
Right.
So while I do my odd jobs here and there, I did my cert. And it was about 2 or 3 years, and I decided it's time to go back home, to go back to Christchurch. And when I was back at Christchurch, Marcy, my old campus manager, there is this opportunity to become a careers advisor. Yeah. And so that's how I go back to Netcall or UB.
Yeah.
And if we look at the typical day as a careers advisor, it's quite different again, because you're not just being the head of one class. Now I am seeing the whole colleges in general. So you'll have different streams, right? You've got your multimedia, you've got your design, web, your foundation. So I am looking at everyone in general and looking at how can I assist them, all these different students with different specialties, how can I help them achieve the career goal that they want to do. So now instead of doing something in the morning and then having a break in the afternoon, it will be a scattered of, few hours in this classroom, few hours in that classroom. And then in between, I would probably go and meet someone like you, right? So organize a meeting with you and then see whether you are interested to come in and talk to the students.
I see.
Yes. And it's always a joy to have like a guest speaker who is happy and willing to come in. Because the tutors, they always say, no matter how many times we tell them, if it doesn't come from the industry, they won't believe it. So it's a nice reinforcement when we have industry speakers. And then while doing that, I will usually think about, in 2 or 3 months' time, we need to think about doing a careers day. So this will be like a 1-day full-on activity where you have different speakers and you have students engaging with each other. And so while doing my day-to-day thing, I need to think ahead about that one particular day. And so that's what a careers advisor job is like. And so now, back to my most recent one, I'm doing a learning design job.
Okay, what does that include?
So because of COVID, things happen, and I have to decide, whether I'm going to stay in the careers advisor role or whether I'm going to do jump on and do the learning design role. And so learning designer is almost in a way quite the opposite to what I've done before, because there's so much one-to-one and group interaction in being a tutor and a careers advisor.
Yeah.
So when I was changing to the learning designer role, the dynamic of my day-to-day is quite different.
Yeah.
And because of COVID, instead of being on campus, now I am allowed to work at home remotely.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, how awesome it is. And I was rejoicing working by myself.
Yeah.
Until at a certain point, I realized, actually, I miss going on campus.
You did.
Yes.
Even as an introvert, you wanted to see the people.
It is actually. So when I took on the contract as a learning designer, the typical day will be looking at my email, looking at my project management. For example, we've got this Asana project management, right? So you look at the task, what you have to do, and then you look at your scheduling. Okay, this is what I need to achieve. And then you would try and tick the list as you go from morning to evening. So that will be my typical day as a learning designer, right? Okay, this is what I have to do, right? So I did that for about 3 months, just working at home. And I realized it's nice working at home, but I actually miss my colleagues.
Yeah.
And so I decided, okay, I'm going to have a chat with my manager again and see if there's any way I could come back to the campus.
Yeah.
And luckily, Marcy is amazing. And she said, okay, right, you could go back to the campus and we've got a space for you.
Yeah.
And so for the past 3 years, I have combination between working from home and
super
it
handy.
is.
Yeah.
So that one question, what my day is like, has evolved to that.
Structured.
It
yeah.
is.
It's a different life every couple of years when you changed, or when COVID happens, or when you decide to go to Brisbane. Like with these big changes, you were still able to stay with the same company in the same industry for that long, but your role has changed. And I like. So when you have been the learning designer. When somebody has never understood or looked into this role, do you design the content that is then being taught by tutors, or what does a learning designer actually make happen?
So when I jump on that role, so the learning designer at Up Education, or EDI in particular, the particular department that I'm working for, so we turn classroom-based content into a blended and online learning.
Right.
Yeah. So again, COVID played a big part, and traditional programs, for example, like web design or design and web development, they're usually being taught in a classroom, right? And probably 0 hours being done online. But because of COVID, everyone starts thinking about how can we deliver it effectively online. Because it's easy to just, all right, these are the content that we have in a classroom. And we're just going to put everything on a website. And that can be your online learning. But as a learning designer, I like to think of myself as a curator. So I'm a curator of learning experiences. So you are, what happens is we will follow NZQA. So they have like learning objectives and everything that you need to achieve. And then we would look at the content that we have. And as a learning designer, you will be curating those content and then including it with activities, so that when a student join the online course, they can follow it at their own time. And it's not just text after text after text.
They need to feel more engaged than that. Otherwise, they fall asleep after 5 hours on screen.
So it's quite multimodal. You've got text, you've got activities, videos, demonstrations. You've got forums, and then that.
Make it more live.
It is a mixture of things, and I feel really blessed to be able to do that, because I really feel like, okay, right, this is my thing. Like I really enjoyed doing it. So it's been a great 4 years doing that.
Yeah. So what will be next in your role, or do you look for something else now? Do you say, I've done the tutoring, I've been hands-on involved, I went to another country, taught adults as well. Now I've had a chance to be learning designer for a while. Do you feel it's now time for a change, or what do you currently have on your radar?
I think I have quite an attachment to this company. So when it was announced that there will be a change, it was quite difficult for me, right? So the timing that they shared the news and the timing that I saw your post online was quite coincidental.
Right.
And so for the past few weeks, it had me thinking and sort of connecting back to myself and thinking about what I want to do next. So I've thought about it, and I think I would like to continue within the learning and development.
Yes.
Maybe I'm quite open to different opportunities.
Yeah.
And I certainly want to continue learning design.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been looking for similar kind of role, but I'm open to any new opportunities, really.
All right.
Yeah.
So the company is currently restructuring or letting people go.
Yeah.
And that means also you have to or want to look now for new opportunities. I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect timing to have you on here then.
It is.
And especially thank you for, really going a bit more into detail and sharing what you have done, because then if someone watches this and they are interested in your skills and they are very, versatile, and then they can also see how you show up, that's a perfect introduction to them.
It is. Yeah.
So what is so different about teaching young adults or adult learners as compared to tomorrow? I will actually interview someone who is in primary education. So would you know what, because you're designing learning for somebody who might be 18 now, could be super overwhelmed with all the internet stuff that's going on. So much data comes at these young people every day. How is it different to design something that keeps them focused, that keeps them engaged and interested in the learning topic? How do you make that happen? What's the secret sauce?
I think everyone will have their own way of engaging with adult learners. But I think the commonality is us as adults, we need a reason why we need to learn something. You can't just be told, all right, you're going to learn this because you need to. You need to invoke a sense of a reason why.
The purpose, why do we do this?
Yeah, what's the benefit for me?
Yeah.
And why would I want to learn this? I think that's one of the key drivers when we are teaching adult learners. Yes.
That means
I reckon. Yeah.
I can be really sneaky now and use your teaching and ask you, why would anybody do the human CV? What's in it for them? What do you think after you filled it out now? What did it do for you?
I think for me, at that particular time, it helped me reconnect with myself, because sometimes I feel like the identity, especially for a working adult, you closely tie your identity with your job title.
Yeah.
And I very much feel that way. And when I was no longer a learning designer for a particular company, I felt a little bit lost. And so I had to look at who I am, do some of the tests, and then reflect back on the things that I have done.
Yeah.
And to tell myself that I am so much more than my job titles.
Yeah.
And there are transferable skills. Basically, I feel like I'm being a careers advisor for myself.
Oh.
Because all along, for the past 15 years, I've been telling people, right, this is what you need to do when you want to go and find work. This is what you need to tell yourself when you are going out there and networking with other people. And so I've been telling people all these things, but then when it comes the time to stop and then reflect, I have to remind myself, right, this is now your time.
Yeah. Go
Go back to yourself and remind yourself of all these things that you've shared with other people in the past.
Absolutely.
And and this is a great reminder, and it's a great help to help me reconnect back to myself.
Thank you.
It
Wow.
is.
Makes me feel quite
It does. It
quite
does.
proud. I
It is.
didn't invent any of that. I just combined
No.
it in a simple way.
It is. But for someone to be able to come across even one thing, you need some sort of a guidance. And I think, Jen, your value, you have been, like, your life experiences have uncovered all these different things.
Yeah.
And so you collating all this information has made it so much easier for someone like me. And yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I think when I was younger and the internet wasn't around, it was almost like who can have the most books and the most access to data. It was the winner was the one who had the most information. But as it flipped throughout my lifetime, now the winner is not who's got the most books on their shelves that they haven't read, who's got the most access to all the data, but rather who can keep calm, like you said, like a moderator, like a balanced point in the middle, who can sort and sift through all that information and extract the true value. There's no need to have all that noise. We need something that's the truth and that resonates in any industry, not just in personal development. I think that goes for everybody, whether you are a supermarket and you need to decide what products do you want to be known for, whether you are, I don't know, in manufacturing electronic devices and you want to go for quality over, producing a lot of something and then creating waste. So, yeah. I wanted to also have a little look at, because you took really, pride in filling in a lot of detail. And what I love is when I look at the people, books, or courses that shaped you, you have some books in there, some podcasts, and also you said you had great managers that mentored and brought the best out of me. Who you can even drop names if you want. Who were some people that, from manager or leaders, that did something for you, and how did they go about it? Can you give us a bit more of a picture?
Yeah, sure. So I filled this out probably a couple of weeks ago. And when I was filling the human CV out, what I find about myself is I gave so much of myself to my work. And so work always comes first. And then family second, and then myself next.
Oh.
That's what I find about myself. Like when I was filling in all those things, I realized that I put my best self at my work.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't love my family or I don't love myself, but I realized how much I give to work.
Yeah.
So after feeling that, I realized that even though I've had great managers in life, I forgot about my parents.
Wow, that's a big insight.
It is. That's what I felt like. I thought, okay, when I was filling in my human CV, because it's all about, okay, a CV has got to do with your work.
Sure.
Isn't it? And so when I was filling this out, I was like, okay, I'm going to probably find a new pathway in employment, a new project or something. And so I thought about work. Who are the people who have made a big influence in my life? And so all the great managers and colleagues come to my mind. But because I was unwell, and now that I feel better, I had more time to reflect and think again. And I thought about my parents.
Oh, so what did they taught you?
Probably everything.
Yeah.
I think hard work, humility, gratitude. I think everything.
All these, eh?
It is. It is. And I forgot about my mom and dad and how awesome they are.
And looking at your beautiful face,
Yes.
it's not from this country. Can you tell me more about where your mom and your dad came from and what their cultures were known for, or have what cultures you've been, steeped in as a young girl?
So both of my parents are Asian. They are Southeast Asian. But I would say even though they are both Asian, they are quite the polar opposite.
Okay.
Mom is a Singaporean. Dad is an Indonesian. And so the subculture, so my mom she's a mix of Chinese and Malay, and my father is a Javanese and Palembang. So my dad, he would be the soft-spoken, nurturing kind of a father.
Yeah.
My mother is quite the stern, disciplined kind of person. And so from both of them, I need to balance myself out.
Yeah.
And it's always a push-pull kind of dynamic. And and we have moved from country to country. So I grew up in Jakarta, Indonesia. And then in my teenage years, we moved to my mom's country, Singapore.
Yeah.
And then changes in life, and my parents wanted to move to a country where it's much more peaceful and, you know, more settled. And so we moved to Christchurch, New Zealand.
How old were you when you moved to Christchurch?
22.
It was a big change, you know?
Yeah.
And then first Jakarta, and then, I don't know, you were teenagers, you made a big change from Jakarta to Singapore then, and then again in your early 20s to Christchurch. So 3 completely different cultures.
It is. So even within the nucleus of the family, we have a mix of strong opposing culture. And then we live in, you know, different countries.
Yeah.
Jakarta is different, Singapore is different, New Zealand is different. And so I think within me, there is so many cultural...
You're a hot pot.
I am. Absolutely, I am.
You're
and
a
I think
hot pot,
just talking about this made me realize how rich I am.
Rich in what?
Rich in experiences and culture and perhaps understanding.
Yeah.
I think if I had grown up here in Christchurch, I would probably have just that one culture and one perspective. But because I've grown up in 3 different, you know, places and, you know, coming from parents with different mindsets.
Yeah. Very rich. Yeah.
It is.
You know, it's so interesting when you talk just about how your dad was very soft-spoken and your mom was more the stern one. My eyes instantly darted to the kindness from your dad and the self-regulation probably from your mom. You know, yes, you do this, but then you do your homework. You know, like really structured and strict. And when you said about the typical day at work or a week at work, you also said, well, there is a lot in the classroom or with other peers where you have to, you know, be kind and have that social intelligence. But then you log back into Asana, a project management tool, and it's tick, 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 you know, which project, what date, due dates, deliverables. Oh, there's an expo coming up. I need to prepare for that. So it's amazing that you got those 2 most important skills from your parents. And it probably wasn't always easy when you were a little girl, you know, because sometimes you want to go to dad and get from dad something sweet. And then mom said no. You had to learn to navigate. And maybe that's exactly where your social intelligence came from.
Probably.
You read the room. And then your siblings, how do they show up?
Well, my sister recently, she called me a mushi.
Okay, that's a word for vagina in German, so keep going.
Okay, can we edit that out, please? Okay. I don't know how we're gonna edit that. Okay.
What does that mean?
Can I just rephrase that and then we can use this edit? Right.
I'm glad I didn't spit tea over the CV. That's awesome.
My sister recently called me a softie.
Okay.
Yes, because when she see me interact with my family, she would see me as the agreeable kind of person.
What you have, agreeableness, 80%.
It is. But I think because we consume a lot of media, right?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this post about I don't have to always be right. I would rather be happy.
Yeah.
And so it's about picking the battles.
Yeah.
Right? If I have to be right all the time, or if I have to have my way all the time, then I probably have to leave the place of work or leave the group or whatever project that I have to do, because this is my way and it has to be right. But because, like my sister saying, I am a softie. I look for ways within the boundary or within whatever regulation or limitations that I have. What can I do within this limitation where I could still accomplish what I need?
Yeah, you work within the boundaries that are there. This is another interesting topic because you're just talking about that. I would love to ask you something. I spend quite a lot of time with people who are self-employed entrepreneurs, freelancers, whatever you call them, people who can somehow choose their own clients, which sometimes I'm joking, you choose your own bosses. Clients are your bosses in a way. You make a really good example for somebody who stayed for a long time, for 15 years with one company. If you had to sell to a young person watching this, or maybe even an entrepreneur in their 40s who might think, do I still want to be an entrepreneur, or do I flirt with a 9 to 5? What arguments would you bring for why is it so good to have a company, to have that consistent income? Or what is it that you enjoy about being an employee?
Sure. So when I finished my studies, so I did a video post-production graduate diploma from CPIT or ARA.
Yeah.
So at that time, we sort of just moved to New Zealand, and I did like a part-time work, and then I did my study. And I was in a junction whether I should decide, all right, should I follow my heart and then move to another city with more video post-production opportunity, or should I stay with my family and have that stability?
Yeah.
And so at that time, I had that opportunity, or I stay in Christchurch. And they say God or universe, you put what your intentions are, and you put it out there and see what comes out of it. And so at that point in my life, the opportunity to become a tutor came up. So it was advertised on Seek and on newspaper as well. So back then, it was still like advertised on newspaper. And so I chose the pathway of safety and stability. But at the same time, I'm not compromising on my interests, because I still love digital media.
Yeah.
And I think I was just fortunate, right? So when I choose that stability over adventure, I realize now, looking back, I'm really glad I did that, because not only I managed to fulfill my interests and having the financial stability, I get to be close to my family as well. And I was looking at a LinkedIn learning video, and they were saying everybody took on a job with different intentions in mind. So some would go for financial stability, some would go for following their passion, but not everybody needs to follow their passion. And I think telling people to follow their passion can be a dangerous thing.
Okay.
Because we all have different motivations in life. We all have different priorities. And if I could tell my 20-something-year-old self, I would say, hey, it's okay to look after your family and to choose financial stability over adventure. And I'm glad I did that. So I hope that answer.
I like this that you even said I did not have to compromise on what I was interested in.
Yeah.
You didn't choose to be an accountant, even though you hate math, because it's safe and stable. And like we see now, when companies restructure, there is not always safety, stability, and security promised forever, because companies go through life cycles also.
It is.
Or they change strategy and they want to get rid of an arm of the education that they used to serve for a long time. So you will still need in your life the change or the ability to adapt, which you do have. You have agreeableness, so you're not fighting what's there. What I do love to see, the INFJ or the NFs in general, like intuitive and feelers, I'm the same, I'm ENFJ, they often grapple with very big, profound emotions. Sometimes in the new agey or spiritual language, we call it the collective emotions or collective feelings. And at the same time, I see often the NFs to show up with very low emotional stability. And you have a very high number. So I know that whatever life gives you, you will use it. You will make use of it. You will not fight it. You will not cry. You will just go, oh, okay, my life cycle or is now, at the end of this tutor job or the Brisbane time. And now I'm doing something else. And because you're not having this fighting that some entrepreneurs have, like, I will never go back to a 9 to 5. No, maybe this is what I need as a mother, for example, as a family guardian, You're like, you just do what you need at this season in your life.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. And I think we need to allow ourselves permission to cry. Because it was, just reflecting back on what happened, it was hard, and I was like thinking, I'll be fine. And then there was that particular moment in the evening where emotion just sort of burst, and I just go with the flow. And I told myself to just allow that emotion and allow myself to cry. And it was really good to just cry it out, because it was a loss. It's a grief. Yeah. And just allowing that moment to, like, just feeling that moment and just allowing it to pass. And then I felt like, okay, now I could move on and maybe fill out the human CV.
Great one. And thanks for saying that, because I realized that me saying, you didn't cry could come across as crying is a bad thing. So really thank you for saying emotions need to be felt. And it's a somatic release. When you can cry, it is healing for the body. So really thank you for making that point clear. So I hope my comment doesn't come across as tough girls don't cry.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Beautiful. Another interesting two names that popped out. I mean, you're full of interesting things here, but Malcolm Gladwell, Robert Greene.
Yes.
You enjoy the books. I know Robert Greene, the last one I read was the 48 Laws of Power, I think. And Malcolm Gladwell, he did which book was it that you found most passionate or interesting?
Well, Outlier, was it?
Oh yeah, Outliers.
Yeah.
I have heard about it. I haven't read that one. I read another one from Malcolm Gladwell, and it doesn't come to me right now. Did he do the chasm, crossing the chasm? Maybe. I'm mixing books and authors now. What about these two that you enjoy the reading style, or do you enjoy the data that they bring up and then use it into, because for me at least, Robert Greene turns data into practical how-to. What is it about you? What do you enjoy?
I think before I answer what I like about them, I need to say that I need to go back and read books more.
Okay.
Yes. Because I used to be an avid reader. And then along came the phones, and it's just easier to consume short, consumable kind of content. And I think I forgot how valuable it is to just spend the time to finish a book. And after I wrote that, I realized there are so many other books that I've encountered in life that I need to reread again. I think that's the thing about books. You've come across so many things, and maybe some would sit in your shelf. But if you don't reread them, then you forget about it. Yes. But what I like about those two, you are right, it's how they use history or data and putting it into context of our modern life. Yes. And thinking about, there's one in particular where it's being applied in Christchurch at the bus exchange.
Okay. Well, wait, what is that?
So at the bus exchange, they would have the loudspeaker playing classical songs.
I realized that I took the bus into town yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay, Vivaldi.
Yes. And Malcolm Gladwell mentioned that in his book. So I think, was it New York, where the mayor was trying to curb youth vandalism?
And they played softer tunes rather than, hip-hop or rock.
It is. But I wonder how effective it is if the song is being played again and again, and the youngsters are sort of getting used to it and maybe building like they start to
Resilience
like it.
or
Yeah, and they start enjoying it. So I wonder, But I must say the security guards that are working there, they're doing a great job.
Right.
Yeah, because I used to like the campus used to be just at the corner of where the bus exchange is, and so I commute by bus a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's like my frequent kind of transportation
Commuter.
hub. It is, yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking now about the point that you said, maybe the youngsters will enjoy it. And
It is.
then, I don't know, in times when this classical music has been around, there was still violence, right? So I think whenever somebody goes through this emotion of having to express anger, frustration, violence, I think they will still want to do it. And even if the nicest music is playing, they will still have that anger with them. They might even not notice what's going on around them because they're literally blind with rage.
But it's a deterrent, isn't it?
It deters them in the beginning.
Yeah. And it's quite nice being able to see that connection. Like you see something in life and you're like, oh yes, I remember reading about it somewhere.
Yeah, true. And like you said, like certain books, the Robert Greene one, it's been ages since I read it, so now I have to revisit. And what I do like about Robert Greene, I listened to a few interviews of his. He's been through a massive health issue.
Yes.
I think it was a stroke in his brain or something, or aneurysm. And so he had to relearn living again pretty much. And I appreciate directness. I had to learn, coming to New Zealand from a German background, to filter myself, to soften my words. And when I read Robert Greene, I'm just like, it's so easy. There's no filter. He's just like, boom, this is how I think about this. Take it or leave it. Because perspective can change throughout the years. So even, if where I'm trying to get to is, for me, there is the book that comes to you at the right time. And maybe it shakes you and you say, I don't like the book, it really annoyed me. And then 5 years later, you matured a bit, you learned a bit, you had different perspectives, and you read it again. All of a sudden, it's no longer offending you. It's clarifying you or enlightening you. So I think there is no reason to dislike any book or any teacher because they have a purpose at different stages in life.
Yes. And I think that applies to people as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Even the teacher you used to hate in school, there was a reason that you disliked them.
It is.
And sometimes it's just to show you that you want to be different than them. And that is the teaching, I want to be as far away from this behavior as possible. And sometimes it's a blend, like you learn from your dad, the sweet spokenness, and from your mom, the getting stuff done gene, and you use it in your day-to-day. Yeah. How does it show up, like your character and the way you do your thing in your personal life? When you go home after work or you finish your computer work and shut down the computer, what is something that you do? The reading you mentioned, but is there something with your friendships or hobbies that you do in which you can use those skills of the social intelligence in particular? Or you said the sustainable development goals, one of them is good health and well-being. So what about your personal life and hobbies and friends?
I think my family life is a big part of who I am. And so the Kiwi culture, once you reach 18, you would go off and live your own life. And so I think as a family who has migrated through different countries, and perhaps it's the Asian culture as well, I stick around with my parents. And so I'm living with my parents, and my dad he survived a stroke. Yes, and it has been a big part of our life for the past 1 to 2 years.
Okay,
it is, and now it's getting easier, but it was a challenging transition because he was supposed to die. He was supposed to die, but he fought and he went through rehabilitation. And so I think being able to spend time with the family is a big part of me. And I am getting back into doing more of the fun stuff, like just going to the gallery or doing a bit of Zumba.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
or just catching up with my friends, just have a coffee or
Yeah. Oh.
Just I'm not really a big adventurous type.
No, you are steady and compliant and conscientious. I mean, I can tell.
It is. Yeah. But that's me right now. I don't know what's happening in the next months or few years.
Yeah. You might be bungee jumping. Who knows?
I know, right? I know. Yeah, but it's just the easy lifestyle right now.
Yeah. Since you went to this topic, it's not the lightest one, but I still want to have one little question before moving on to a lighter topic. Having somebody in your home, literally your father, that you love dearly, and you've seen him moving through different countries and keeping the family together, going through such a near-death experience is shocking. It's profound. So often when people experience the proximity of death, or likely, someone is going to leave soon, it does something to them. It makes them reconsider their own life and priorities and all of that. How have you noticed yourself doing things differently since your dad went through that stroke experience?
I think I realized how much stronger I am.
In what way?
So when we were at the hospital, I mean, together with my sister, my mom, and my brother, we fought for him to stay alive.
Yeah.
And I think you really take for granted what it means to stay alive.
Yeah.
It is. And even just being able to, can I hold your hand?
Absolutely.
Even just being able to hold someone's hand, the hand of someone you love, and for that other person to be able to hold your hands back.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
And just going through the paperwork, like the power of attorney, things like that. And then when we were going through rehab, you see someone who's been bedridden.
Yeah.
Just to be able to be moved using a hoist from your bed to a seat.
Yeah.
And then slowly seeing that person being able to sit up, just being able to sit up.
Yeah.
Being able to swallow. So for us, just having a drink.
It's normal.
Yeah. Just being able to swallow. And all the small things, like you see all these increment, little changes, improvements with the rehab team, that you don't realize how capable we are as a human being.
Yeah.
Even us having this moment, just being able to muster up the word and then being able to express it so easily.
In a foreign language.
In a foreign language, right?
Yeah.
So I think this brain of ours, us being a human being, is just a miracle, right?
Yeah.
Is that a...
It's a big answer. I'm sitting with it for a second. I can't even jump into the next question just yet.
No, we just
because I just want to express gratitude and humility and all of that for the capacity we have. And I think part of me is very strongly resonating with that, because as someone who loves these topics, the self-development, even though we are developed already, we're just, like you said, we're having this miracle available in our heads, but also in our hearts, right? And so I've seen so much wasted human potential by not recognizing what brilliance they have, how they show up, what they want to use it for, who they want to serve, whether it's the parents at home or the students that you teach as a tutor, or the people you design those learning programs and content for, or the peers that you work with together and share stories about, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what my classroom has done this time. And I think the whole human experience is just big and profound. And when we show up for the 60, 70, 80, maybe 90 years we get given without even considering, what am I doing here? It's a waste. And it's a very sad thing, because we are so unique. No one has your background. No one has your exact percentages and the life experience that you had. So what are you using it for, right? And that's what I feel most people haven't sat down and put the effort in like you did and reconsidered, oh, I have some diamond here. Who do I give it to? Which company is deemed valuable so that I can show up fully and bring all of that there? I would like to maybe take one more moment on something that I saw in your CV that hasn't been mentioned by the others I've seen so far. The ideal work environment, we often don't think about it. And you spoke briefly about it when you said, you know, I was on campus, then I was forced to be at home and work from there, and I wanted to go back on campus. When I asked, what's your ideal work environment, you put a few interesting things like you enjoy indoor, you envision a space that is decorated tastefully, has ergonomic furniture, has controlled temperature and natural light, and is surrounded by plants and greeneries. Why?
Why? I think I was influenced. Oh, I forgot the book. So I think I'm going to have to send you a link to the name of the book. But this book was one of the influential book that I was using when I was a careers advisor. But yeah, the name slipped my mind. So one of the exercises I remember, and I think that's the reason why I'm quite specific about what I want. So in that book, we go through an exercise where, all right, if you were to envision a space, think about the details. Is it outdoor? Is it indoor? And I think I'm also reflecting on like my current spaces. So I imagine if I were to, you know, be employed by another company, you know,
that's your tick box, you know. You
it is. But I mean, it's not always ideal, right?
Of course.
Where we are working. So I think just about making the best of whatever space that we have. And making it your own.
You must have seen a difference also when you teach students, you know, depending on which room they are in, they might show up differently as well.
I think, you're right. The tutors try to make the room as comfortable and as conducive as they can. So some tutors would have like posters or images of the students' work. Some would put plenty of plants in the classroom. So I think the personality of the tutor would influence what the space is like. But I think it is true. Like even what you're doing with your space here, it's really nice. It's very comforting and
Thank you so much. And for the viewers, there is no expectation to pay for these interviews or to bring anything, but you brought plant. You brought a beautiful plant as a present, so I appreciate that you make the space even more beautiful. So every future guest will enjoy your little mark that you left here in the studio.
No worries.
Beautiful. All right. I think I would like to start wrapping this up because you've given us so much goodness, and I will sit here and reflect on some of those things as well. So for the people who see this, who are in the same passion or industry that you are in, that you have so much experience and so much passion for, if they want to connect with you, what would be a good way for them to approach you?
So I've got a LinkedIn account. So I'll be happy to connect with anyone. So that can be a good starting point.
Yes, beautiful. And right now you are in Christchurch, New Zealand, but of course you are experienced in digital and remote work. So you know your way around the technology. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you, Jen.
We'll do a final little.
Yes.